But when I came to work here in Yanceyville, I left North Carolina Central, so we had the advantage of fiber optics on campus and the value of the ITS service with voice over IP. But coming to Yanceyville, it was like I stepped back in time 40 years. The best that they had at that time was sort of like dial-up, and if you could afford DSL, that was a little bit faster. And the community college, prior to July 1 of 2008, had used 3 megabytes of broadband, so it was like dial-up. Using North Carolina's NC Live, they had electronic books. And we tried to download an electronic book, and it took us 20 minutes to download 1 chapter of the book. Now, in a 50-minute class, you really don't have time to download any books. And that showed the clear disadvantage of not having a broadband of 100 megabits or better. Because in educational institutions, I think all educational institutions need to have at least 1 gigabyte of uninterrupted broadband. We're trying to use the information highway to do distance learning. Because in rural areas, if it's 25 miles from Yanceyville to Roxborough, that's a 50-mile round trip. So if I don't get 15 miles a gallon or more, it's going to cost me almost $20 just to ride there. And if I need to go to class 3 times a week, that's $60 times 4. So it's almost $250 just to get to class. So the lack of broadband impacts rural counties more than it does urban counties. So I think there needs to be some kind of a leveling of the playing field by making sure the outer limits are taken care of just as well as the inner limits. And I'd say the inner limits being the education in urban centers. I think the most important part that I think that broadband, it shouldn't be a choice, but it should be viewed as a utility in its purest form.